Revelation chapter 19, verse 9 and 10. And he saith unto me, Right blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHWAHSHI. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant of thy brethren that have the testimony of YAHWAHSHI. Worship YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHWAHSHI, for the testimony of YAHWAHSHI is the spirit of prophecy. I want to give all praises and honor to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHWAHSHI, BAHASHAM Rakah, forgive me the spirit, to do this lesson. In this lesson, I'm going into the testimony of YAHWAHSHI is the spirit of prophecy. Okay. Why is the testimony of YAHWAHSHI the spirit of prophecy? Okay. And the answer to that is because it's tied directly to YAHWAHSHI's appearing, directly to it. Okay. It keeps you in that mind frame. It keeps you thinking. It keeps you meditating. You're watching these prophecies. You're like, oh man, it's close. Okay. You in the meditation of YAHWAHSHI's return. Okay. So that's why it's very important to prophesy. Okay. Let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. Right. That love his appearing. Now, how can you love YAHWAHSHI's appearing without dealing with prophecy? Okay. It's impossible. Okay. The only way to love his appearing is to watch. What are you watching? You're watching the prophecies. Okay. You see that? You're watching the prophecies. Okay. And your mind is meditating. Oh man, it's close. He's almost here. You're thinking about YAHWAHSHI. Okay. Period, man. So that he won't catch you like a thief. Okay. So it keeps you alert. It keeps you alert when you're dealing with the prophecies and the spirit, man, of what you're fighting for. Okay. That's the truth. All right. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 14. Let's read verse 39 and 40. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy. You hear that? Covet to prophesy. Now we know you can covet in a bad way, right? You can covet other people's things. It tells you in the law, do not covet, right? But you can covet to prophesy, right? And forbid not to speak with tongues. Let all things be done decently and in order. Now let's go into covet in that Google definition. It says yearn to possess or have something, right? Yearn to possess or have something. Okay, let's go into yearn. It says have an intense feeling or longing for something. Okay, you hear that? You're yearning for it. Why? Because you know it's tied to the kingdom of heaven being established. All these different things, these different prophecies have to come to pass first, okay, for YAHWAHSHI to return to set up the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so you're yearning, all right, because it's the main thing. That's why it says covet to prophesy. It's the main thing. Okay, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 14, and let's start at verse 1. Follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts, but rather that you may prophesy. For he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto man, but unto YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHWAHSHI. For no man understand him. Howbeit in the spirit he speaketh the mysteries. But he that prophesieth speak unto man to edification. Right. It's about edifying and exhortation and comfort. Okay. So prophets are exhorters. Okay. That's part of prophesying. I just read it. Verse 3. I read it again. But he that prophesieth speaketh unto man to edification and exhortation and comfort. Okay, so prophets are also exhorters. They will exhort you, okay, to do what? To watch, to get ready, to be prepared, okay, to survive the prophecies, okay, to be able to stand and have that faith, to be prepared, okay. When YAHWAHSHI comes, shall he find faith on the earth, right? Okay, the spirit of prophecy, the testimony of YAHWAHSHI is the spirit of prophecy because it's tied to his coming. I'm going to keep saying that. It's tying to his return. Okay, don't forget that when you think about prophecy. Okay, verse 4. He that speaketh in an unknown tongue edify himself, but he that prophesieth edify the church. Right, you're breaking it down. what's going to happen. Okay, what to watch for. Okay, it's very, very edifying. Why? Because it lines you up in the mind frame of looking for YAHAWASHI, his return. Okay, you start thinking about YAHAWASHI more when you deal with prophecy. Okay. Verse 5, I would that you all spoke with tongues, but rather that you prophesy. For greater is he that prophesieth than he that speaketh with tongues. Right, different languages. Okay, you have some brothers who are heavy in the Hebrew. Okay, than other brothers. That's his gift. Right? It says, except he interpret, that the church may receive edification. Right. If they don't understand it, what you're saying, they're not going to be edified. Okay. Prophesying is the main thing. That is the main thing. Okay. There are different spiritual gifts, but prophesying is the main thing. Okay. Verse 6. Now, brethren, if I come unto you speaking with tongues, what shall I profit you, except I shall speak to you either by revelation or by knowledge or prophesying or by doctrine? Verse 7. And even things without life-giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds, how shall it be known what is piped or harped? Right. Okay, you want to edify Jake. Okay, you want them to be edified to understand what you're saying. Okay, that's why prophesying is the main thing. Okay, you getting straight to it. There's no confusion. Well, I don't understand. Well, no. Okay, except you have an interpreter, right? Because everybody's not on the same level to understand what you're saying if you speak in different languages. Okay, every Jake is not an expert in the Hebrew. Okay, that's why we speak in English most of the time. All right, verse 8. For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? So likewise ye, except you utter by the tongue words easy to be understood, how shall it be known what is spoken? For you shall speak it into the air. There are, it may be, so many kinds of voices in the world, and none of them is without signification. Therefore, if I know not the meaning of the voice, I shall be unto him that speaketh a barbarian, and he that speaketh shall be a barbarian unto me. Even so ye, for as much as you are zealous of spiritual gifts, okay, seek that you may excel to the edification of the church. Let's read that again, verse 12. Even so ye, for as much as you are zealous of spiritual gifts, right? You want spiritual gifts in the spirit. There's different gifts, like I said. Seek that you may excel to the edifying of the church, right? Covet to prophesy. All right, going back to 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 39, I read that again. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy and forbid not to speak with tongues. Right. Okay. So you get the point. The main thing is to prophesy, man. Okay. The testimony of YAHAWASHI is the spirit of prophecy, which makes it the main thing. Okay. The main thing, because it's tied directly to YAHAWASHI returning. Okay. And we know when he returns, it's over, man. We get changed. We get our new bodies. No more pain. No more suffering. We get to live forever in peace. Okay, so continue to watch the prophecies, all right, and really meditate about this lesson. With that, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakah, Kodash, for giving the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you, Akim, out there that's doing the truth.